We have breaking news to tell you about. We are now following this police pursuit. You see there, a CHP officer is following right behind that car. We believe it's that darker car that the CHP is following. Now, we don't know too much about what started this. We believe it started in the downtown LA area. Initially, the want was was for wrong way driving, but as you can see, the car is going the right direction on this freeway, which is the Interstate 5 North in the Boyle Heights area, so not far, just east of the downtown LA area. But CHP right behind this driver, very close behind, with the lights going and the night sun overhead from the police helicopter and Skyfox overhead as well. We see that the speeds are not what you would call excessive, but CHP immediately behind this vehicle as we just watch to see what happens next. Will this car get off the freeway? Will it stay on the freeway? It seems as if the freeway is pretty wide open and so not too much traffic to concern about. But then again, a lot of times drivers like to get someplace where they're more familiar and get off the freeway and perhaps try to strategize on how possibly they can get away. But it seems to me, after many years of covering police pursuits, very few manage to get away. And we're watching this car now, again, still on I-5 going northbound, kind of near Santa Monica Freeway in the Boyle Heights area, kind of getting closer to that interchange with the 60. If you know this area, you know it's kind of going by the brewery over there and, not too far away from the 6th Street Viaduct. But right now, it seems as if it's what I would call a fairly inconsequential police pursuit. I say that only because it doesn't seem as if anybody else is getting involved. The car is not going at an excessive rate of speed, but we are keeping an eye. We've lost it now only because of all these overpasses and the interchange. We think it's right below there, right underneath this particular freeway overpass. Once it pops back up again, we'll be able to tell whether or not we still have it in our purview. Watching again, we see the flashing lights of the CHP vehicle, but we don't see, it's slightly occluded by that overpass. But meantime, car seems to be speeding up, night sun overhead, so perhaps that driver is well aware that there's a helicopter overhead, not just the fact that there is a black and white right behind. Now we are seeing speeds over 80 miles per hour, really going at a pretty good clip now, going past all the traffic, and meantime, CHP behind as well. Over 100 miles per hour now as we see this vehicle heading back into the downtown area. We're told that that's initially where we picked it up, was the downtown area. Initially, someone noted that this driver was going the wrong way on some street or freeway. That part of it, we don't really know. So now we're getting new information that says that this pursuit actually started in the Orange County area. We picked it up in the downtown area, but that's what we know at this point. All right, keeping an eye on this vehicle going now over 90 miles per hour and faster. Now it seems as if it's going 100 miles per hour, going past any of the traffic, which I don't see actually a lot of. We need probably to pull out a little bit to see what else is going on. But again, on the 10 going westbound in the Central City area, it's going, this driver is going fast. So the driver must be fully aware now that he's got lights behind him from the CHP, night sun overhead, law enforcement, police helicopter overhead as well, keeping an eye on this driver. So initially, the driver was seen going the wrong way on a certain freeway or street. We don't know, but that was enough to get the attention for law enforcement and for the police pursuit to begin. This is a very complicated area, if you know, like the Cloverleaf and all the freeways that kind of intersect right here, and that's why we lose sight of the vehicle for a time before it pops back out again and this area clears up. Yep, that's the famous clover leaf. You see it there. So we believe that the vehicle is still, oh, now we're looking at a CHP officer on a surface street, or police with lights on a surface street, but we've lost sight, at least for right now, the actual vehicle that was pursued. Now we've caught up to it. Okay, there's the driver there. Looks like some kind of a black sedan. Originally seen going in the wrong direction, going wrong way. And behind it, we saw at least 2 CHP vehicles. Speeds are much higher than we saw when we first picked up this pursuit. Initially, the vehicle was going a relatively slow 60, 55 miles per hour. Now it's almost double that speed now, passing a lot of traffic on the 10 going westbound. We see one patrol officer behind, but I believe at one point I saw another one. So again, keeping an eye on this pursuit. Started in Orange County, now in the downtown LA, Jefferson Park area, going westbound. Crenshaw Boulevard, so now it's headed towards us, frankly, as we watch this vehicle continue on the 10 freeway and passing a lot of other cars as well. That always gets a little nerve-wracking. I know for sure that there are times that people will see that there is this kind of activity and perhaps think, I'm going to get out of the way. But at the same time, if they are moving left and the pursued driver wants to move around, sometimes that is a fatal accident, fatal mistake. In this case, so far, fingers crossed, nothing has happened. We've seen no interaction at all with this car and any innocent driver, as we keep an eye on it as it continues to go into now the mid-city area. So we're talking about the 10 freeway. You know, now we're quite west of the downtown area, heading into the Culver City area, the West LA area, now passing the La Brea Avenue exit. And the car again is going from 80 miles per hour up over 100 miles per hour. Looks as if there are a few more cars on the freeway than we have seen on the other throughways. But again, nothing too exciting about this pursuit, not to take anything away as we watch, because anything can change in just a matter of seconds, right? So we're watching this car. It's got to deal with the fact that there seems to be a few more cars on the freeway than we had seen in previous areas. So the car is now going like basically the speed limit, 70-ish miles per hour. Seems to be staying, you know, in the lanes, not driving too erratically, but clearly the driver has to be aware of what is happening around him or her, with the CHP right behind, with the lights flashing, and a police helicopter overhead. Oh, okay, we're watching as this car is now speeding up, as it's now heading towards an area where ultimately this vehicle, this driver, will have some choices to make if by chance he does not want to stay on the 10 freeway, because as you all know, the 10 freeway will eventually end. So perhaps as this driver is aware of it, the driver will make a decision to either get on to the 405 and make that decision to go either north or south on the 405. If he continues past the 405, he'll get into that area where everything just stops because it goes into PCH, and then you have another issue with PCH. That CHP vehicle is coming up pretty close to this vehicle. Now, at this stage, on a freeway like this, there aren't a lot of choices. No one's going to throw out a spike strip. The law enforcement behind it, looks like there are at least 2 patrol cars. They're not going to do anything like a pit maneuver, but they will follow. They will continue to pursue the driver in this car. Okay, we're getting very close now to the point where this driver will have to make a decision. Stay on the 10 and then wind up on the PCH or get off the freeway. All right, we have Dennis Zion on the phone. He's a former LAPD officer, and of course, we all know him as a former city council member as well. And Dennis, when you look at this pursuit, it's been actually fairly calm, but the speeds are getting kind of nerve-wracking when you see the driver go up over 100 miles per hour.
Absolutely. That's when it gets in the danger area. And we see it in the 80-mile-an-hour range right now. CHP is well-trained for these type of situations. We see units following at a proper distance. There's a secondary unit behind. There's the 3 CHP units, at least, that we see camera view. So what's going to happen is they'll continue holding their positions, and they'll be very disciplined in making sure that they don't create more problems on the freeway for the traveling public. And the advantage now is that there's very light traffic
right,
as you travel on the 10, which safeguards people, because you're not going to have the congestion where the lane changes and a lot of hazards that take place. Again, there's no cross streets, no pedestrians, so we eliminate a lot of the hazards that we find on a surface street pursuit. But in this particular situation, obviously the person's not going to stop, and this will go until the continuation or it runs out of gas. Bike strips are really not practical in a situation on the freeway, so we can rule those out. But this will continue, runs out of gas, gives up, as we've seen many times. They just turn over, pull over, put their hands up, and take me to jail,
and Dennis,
which is what we hope for.
As predicted, this driver had to make a decision. Perhaps the driver is local enough to know that if you continue on the 10 westbound, you're not going to have a lot of options. So the driver got off. So now is going northbound on the 405 and passing us in the West Los Angeles area. And the other thing, Dennis, which is, you have to wonder how it is not just for the driver that has to navigate, but also the CHP behind. It can be as nerve-wracking for them, and anxiety, or not anxiety, but the adrenaline starts to flow, certainly, where they're in this kind of situation where they have to follow and make sure that people stay safe on the freeway, but then they get their person.
Exactly, but they're trained. I mean, I still serve in the department as a reserve officer, so we're trained for this. So we know how to have composure and control. Young officers get more excited. The veterans, they've been through this. So they sit back, they're communicating with dispatch, they're communicating with the air units, and they're just, basically cruising along to the destination where this person wants to travel, and then take them into custody. So these people in law enforcement, especially the California Highway Patrol, well-trained, because 99% of their activities on the freeways, whether it's the 5 o'clock commuter hour or this late hours we see in a pursuit situation. So CHP in particular, they have this well-trained people.
Okay, well, this is an interesting move. The driver got off at the Wilshire exit, heading towards, actually towards West LA and the Veterans Administration area. Things are going to get a little bit more difficult for this driver. I mean, look how close now the CHP is getting. An innocent driver decided to pull over to get out of the way. Other people know to stop when they see those lights. And here this car is going, whoa, through a red light, I believe. At first, I thought that overpass was conflicting traffic. That was not the case at all. Okay, going under that underpass. Again, this driver is in the West LA, Brentwood area. Oh, now it's going to get back on the freeway, I think. That's some kind of,
there we go,
or some kind of change. Oh, sorry, that is the area, that's the on-ramp that basically takes you down into the Veteran Administration campus. So I don't know if this driver knows anything about the VA campus. Meantime, there are ways to get back up to Wilshire Boulevard or and then back on the freeway if need be. But it's sort of interesting that this area, because this area is, especially at this hour, would not be very well trafficked. There wouldn't be a lot of people that are about. You see that night sun, wow, right on that car.
Yeah, that chopper is going to continue making those moves and broadcasting along with the ground units. But now they're on the federal property, and I remember when I worked West LA Division, that's the federal jurisdiction, the federal facilities there, Wadsworth and the federal administration, the hospital. So narrow streets, old streets. It's an old community. That part of the West Los Angeles area. There's a lot of roads in and out, but they're all narrow roads. This will be interesting. Very little traffic, normally, and extremely light traffic at this hour.
Well,
because there's not a lot of activities at the
yeah, absolutely. And you know, Dennis, the thing is too about that campus is it's near a medical center. There's a medical center there, right? So there are some of these roads. Not only are they on the narrow side, but some of them have those speed bumps to keep people from traveling too quickly. So if that driver doesn't know that, then they might find themselves in a situation where they really have to slow way down. Now, is this a situation, perhaps not right now? Oh, wait, this is an interesting. Stopped, parked, off of the road. What will this driver do? Now, I'm not familiar with this this kind of Quonset hut situation. There are a lot of veterans, of course, that live on the campus of the West LA facility. So will the driver come out? It was an interesting decision to pull over in that manner off the roadway. Is that doors open, arms out?
Now we're going to have the
arms up.
There we go. Yep.
So he decided he had enough. He was caught going the wrong way, and you know he decided that was enough.
He's on the grounds there where there's not many places to hide, so he's going to exit the vehicle, surrender, another peaceful end to a dangerous pursuit, and he'll be booked probably at the West LA Police Station in West Los Angeles, right off of Santa Monica Boulevard.
You can tell he's trying to listen to the instructions given to him by police officers. Typically, this is a very typical routine where they ask the driver, to get out of the car with their hands up, back up. They want them to turn around and back up so that the perpetrator, the suspect, actually comes to them in this situation. Sometimes they'll say, get on your knees and get down. But in this case, he basically walked himself to them. Now he's in handcuffs. Now he's in custody. So as you say, Dennis, a peaceful ending to this pursuit. Nothing happened. No one was hurt. And they got their man in custody. Dennis Hine, thank you for your help.
Code 4, suspect in custody.
There you go. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much, Dennis. We're going to move on now to Ed Lascos. Ed, what do you have today?